Hey everyone, this is Sumlock24, and before we go any further, just want to remind you to go ahead and click that full screen on the bottom right. Now, today I've actually got an extremely fun deck for you, and this deck we came up with it in the stream, and I'll show you two versions of it. One that it's more of a fun deck, and the other one's a little bit more competitive. And first of all, let me show you the fun deck, and then I'll show you the competitive one. So the fun deck we were playing with Yugimoto, and if you see the title, it is a worm deck, and this particular version we are running two Evil Dragon Anantas, and if you want to see our pack opening, go ahead and check go to Twitch, and you should be able to see the replay of today's live stream. And in this particular version, this fun deck, the main point of this whole deck is to just go ahead and use Magical Merchant, mill as many worms as possible, and then summon Ananta. But let me go ahead and get into the deck profile, and then I'll go into a little bit more of details of it. So two Anantas, or Evil Dragon Ananta. It's an ultra rare out of the new pack. One worm card draws, and whenever you flip it, you add a level 4 monster from your deck to your hand. Two worm apocalypse, destroys a back row. One worm arrowkin. It can set worms to face down position whenever you tribute summon it once per turn. Three worm tentacles, and this is one of the better worms in the set. It can attack twice by removing a worm from your graveyard. And three worm dimicles, not sure how you say it, but anyways, this guy can go up to 2,000 whenever he gets flipped. Then three magical merchants, two monster reincarnation, and three enemy controllers. So overall, we did have several versions of it, and we did toy around with all the cards and added different cards. And this is the final version we ended up with. So basically, like I was saying earlier, you want to summon the magical merchant, or not summon it, but set it. Let your opponent attack it. You mill several of the worms, and most of the time you want to have at least three worms before you summon Ananta. But even if you don't have those three worms, if you have like at least two, it's still 1,200, and if you can protect it, it'll give you a ton of advantage. So as long as you have a protection for this guy, he's just gonna keep destroying and destroying cards in the back row. So this is the first version. This is a fun-oriented version. The next one is a little bit more competitive, and with a fun version, I was trying to play in rank, and unfortunately, I actually D-ranked twice because we couldn't get the deck to run properly. But anyways, here's a little bit more competitive version, and this particular version runs two Evil Dragon Anantas, two Worm Cardors to go ahead and add more worms from your deck to your hand, two Apocalypse, it lets you destroy back row, three Tentacles, and three Demicles. Dimicles. I don't know. Three enemy controllers, three Mirror Wall, one Windstorm, and one Metamorph. So overall, this is mostly a beatdown deck with the added option to have Ananta as a kind of a backup whenever you're in a tough situation. And Ananta is actually super good, especially if you play against a Horus deck or a Silent Magician level 8 deck, a Toon deck. There's actually Ananta is actually a counter to a lot of the main decks out there. The only thing that the deck struggles with is the Phoenix. If you play a Phoenix deck, most of the time, if you can't get the Ananta with at least like four monsters in the grave, most of the time you're gonna lose. But as long as if the Phoenix player misplays, you can actually enemy controller for game, and sometimes you can even mirror well for game also. So you do have several outs, and the Metamorph is actually another out to the Phoenix, but it just really depends on your opponent and on you. Overall, this current deck is really solid, and let me go ahead and show you a couple of replays, and then that way you can see how the deck works. So we'll do the competitive deck first, and then we'll do the fun deck. I think I recorded two of the fun decks. All right, so first one is I'm playing against a Paradox brother, and I can't remember what he was playing, but we'll go ahead and and see what it was. Okay, if it'll load anytime soon. All right, don't even want to. I don't even know what that says on his this guy's name. He's playing Paradox Brothers, and I will be going second. Okay. And he is running a 30 card deck, so wasn't really taking him that serious. But he is running a dragon deck. So send the set Demikos to go ahead and get another card, or I do save him so he goes to up to 2,000, not the searcher. So he goes up to 2,000 whenever you flip summon him. You can go ahead and attack. And here, I think that's a misclick on his part. I don't know why he would activate the enemy controller. And here, one of my cards ended up costing him like 3 or 4 of his. Activated Labyrinth Builder, which okay, I have a Windstorm, and the next turn I do Windstorm and attack twice, and then I ended up getting another Tentacle, so I can go ahead and attack 3 times. And basically they're direct attacks because that Labyrinth is at 0 attack. And that's game. And that's one of the things about Worm Tentacles is that you can attack twice with it. And if you have enough cards in your hand, you can actually, or if you have a Metamorph, you can actually perform an OTK with him. Because 2,000 plus 2,000 it is 4,000, and that is an OTK. All right, the next one. Let's see what this was. All right, shaking my head, Seto Kaiba. Okay, I'm going first. Alright, peak performance, and I think this guy was playing a Horus deck. Alright, so I do have Tentacles, and I do have Demicles, so he can go up to 2,000 whenever he gets flipped. He does summon a Horus level 4, and I have to Mirror Wall here, otherwise he'll get a level 6 out. And then my monster goes up to 2,000. Alright, I can go ahead and summon that, attack over, and then attack again, and he didn't have anything to follow up, so that's really good. Alright, he does have another level 4 and he levels up to a level 6, but this guy's playing extremely reckless, so I can just go ahead and Metamorph and attack over it, and he doesn't have anything to kind of protect his Horus, which I think if he's playing, or if you're going to play Horus, you should have a lot of defensive cards, because the Horus can just easily get destroyed, as you just saw. Okay. Next one's against a Yugimoto. Okay. Let's see what this guy has. Alright. Don't remember this one either, but let's see what happens. Once the video starts rolling, I start to remember some of the details of the game. Alright, I do go ahead and activate restart because I do wanted an enemy controller. Alright, and I did get an enemy controller and a Metamorph, which it's a really good thing. And I'm playing against a Silent Magician level 8 deck. Try to summon Tentacles and then attack, but he does have an enemy controller, switches my Tentacles to defense mode. And he is running the Tie That Binds, so he goes up by enemy controller, so he doesn't get to destroy my monster, and I can just try to attack over the 1,000 defense. Summoned the Nichols, and he unfortunately has a super rush, so he is running a lot of defense, which is understandable, seeing as he's playing the Silent Magician deck. Summons another monster, and I go ahead and Metamorph, so destroy the other one, but he can still go over my monster with his Silent Magician. And his Silent Magician actually gets to where he's super strong. So at this point, I can't really do anything but set a defense and try to mill my deck out, and or not deck out, but try to get an Ananta out. And get an enemy controller, activate the Tentacles to attack twice. Enemy controller his Silent Magician, attack over it, which he didn't have a Sphere Karibo or anything, so I'm able to go ahead and attack. And unfortunately for him, he didn't get a level up or anything else to go ahead and follow up that Silent Magician. And a thing that I found out about all the level cards is that their defense is like super low. Alright, so attacked over the Crystal Seer. I think he gets another Silent Magician level 4 is what he adds to his hand. Alright, so I do get an Ananta, and I wanted to save it just in case he brings out the level 8, which is what I thought he was going to do since he did keep his level 4 in hand. I think he was waiting for a level up. And here I kind of got impatient and I summoned the Ananta and attacked over and then destroyed the back row with just an enemy controller, and he chains, which is fine. Alright, so I think he tributes to the Dumai Ananta, which is super unfortunate for me. But he does have a third Silent Magician level 4. And he attacks. Okay, my worm dies, but I go ahead and get to add another one, which then I can go ahead and attack twice with. I did get another Ananta, so I do have that in my back pocket just in case it gets a level 8. But at this point, he already summons all his level, or he already used up all his level 4 magicians. And here I mirror well, which I think that was it for him. He ended up quitting after that. Alright, the next one, it's one of the fun decks. One of the replays for the fun deck. It's against a Bandit Keith. And actually, we during the stream we played with this deck a lot, and we actually got several wins, and then a couple of losses, and then after at the very beginning we were losing a lot because we couldn't agree on what to run with the deck, and then once we started working on it, and it got to where it was extremely fun to play. Alright, and I'm going first. Alright, so I do have a Magical Merchant, which is really good, and that's why I didn't restart, because you can just mill a ton of cards and go into a, what is it, Monster Reincarnation. Here I'm milling worms, and that's 3 already, so most of the time that's what you want to have is 3, and I do mill an Ananta, which is good, because I can just Monster Reincarnation it back. Alright, summon Tentacles, activate effect, and I try to attack, but he enemy controllers after my enemy controller, which was unfortunate for me. So it was overall it was a 1-for-1, but it does leave me at a disadvantage because my monster's in defense now, and he can just attack over it. Alright, I do get another Magical Merchant, which is another shot at a Monster Reincarnation. He does Fire King Island, and here I think we both made several mistakes on this one. There he should have got a Phoenix, I think, or I don't know if he didn't have Phoenix, but at some point he does have a Phoenix. Magical Merchant goes in, and the very next card's a Monster Reincarnation, which is what I was waiting for. And I almost lost, but with the fun deck, I think it's most of the time you're always really low. But once you get an Ananta out, most of the time the opponent can't do anything. Alright, so I remove the 4, special summon at 24, I can attack over and destroy the island. Island destroys the rest of the cards. He card of the souls for a Phoenix, which okay. And then sets. Alright, so Kartos activates, I get a Tentacles, and then summon Tentacles, which here I think I should have just let this guy in defense mode and not it was a kind of a weird play on my part because I could have lost, but I did have an Antis effect to destroy it, so he does have to have something over that can do over 400 damage and attack over the Tentacles, but unfortunately he doesn't. He just has another Avatar, and he attacks with the Avatar, but I mean, he can't do anything after that. So I had just done my turn, and that was a misplay. I should have destroyed the island, and the island would have destroyed the other one, but now he has a free Sacred Phoenix. And he attacks, and I destroy the back row. And here I do get super lucky, and I get a Monster Reincarnation, which means I can get a Tentacles back. And then Tentacles can go ahead and activate its effect and attack twice, and I can just crash with the Ananta. And that would be game. Okay. And I think that the other one wasn't a replay with this guy. I thought it was, but it's not. So we're gonna go ahead and leave it there. Overall, the decks are really fun. The middle deck's super fun to use, but it's not really that competitive, and a lot of the times you're gonna lose. But if you play this second one, it's a very decent deck. You do have to kind of jump through hoops to do a couple of things, and if you can protect Ananta, Ananta's actually a powerhouse whenever you summon it because you can just destroy a ton of cards. And if you don't have a Metamorph, just substitute it with a Head Rush. You can also substitute the Mirror Watch for a Head Rush, which I think overall the Head Rushes are a little bit better, but I don't have them in here because I don't even know why. But the Head Rushes work a little bit better because if you summon the Nanta with just one, you can still protect it with a Head Rush. So you can't do that with the Mirror Walk, and they can still attack over it. So overall, it's a fun deck. The other one's fun deck is a little bit more uh, made towards a rank game. But overall, I think Worms are really solid. They're not there yet. They're missing several support cards, and once we do have the support cards, I think this card or this deck is going to be one of the tier one decks, kind of comparable to the Red Eyes deck. But overall, let's go ahead and leave it there. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below. If you have any suggestions for future videos, go ahead and leave them down below as well. If you like the video, leave a like. If you dislike, leave it a dislike. And if you enjoyed it, go ahead and I'd truly appreciate if you subscribe. And I guess I'll see you guys next time.